Hey everyone, today we're going to look at a game where Nigel Short defeated Garry Kasparov in 15 moves. Well, sort of anyway. Now this was an exhibition match after the World Championship match which Garry Kasparov won, and the first 4 moves were decided by a hat. I'll read out what the Mammoth Book of Chess has to say. After comfortably defeating Nigel Short for the PCA World Chess Championships in 1993, the audiences at the Savoy Theatre in London were treated to some exhibition matches between the two players. Kasparov won the rapid play games by the convincing margin of 4-0. Short, however, got some sweet revenge in the theme games that were chosen by the organisers. After 2 draws, the proceedings were spiced up when Kasparov was forced to defend with the Bryan. Clearly disgusted with this choice, Kasparov could only last 15 moves before resigning in a totally lost position and storming off the stage to vent his feelings to the powers that be. Still, Kasparov couldn't complain too much. Batsford chess openings, written by Garry Kasparov and Raymond Keane, only gives White a slight plus in this line, and that was written by John Ems. So let's get straight into it. The first 4 moves of the game went as follows: e4, e5, f4, e takes f4, and bishop c4 from White, queen h4 check, king f1, and now b5 was chosen to be played, which is the Bryan Gambit. Knight f6 is often seen in this position, which attacks c4 pawn, whereby White will play knight to f3 and queen h6, d4, bishop e7, knight c3 and d6, leads to a comfortable game for White. So this opening by many is considered trash, but it's not too bad if you are a computer and can play some computer moves. So b5, Kasparov considered trash as well. So in the game, Short played bishop takes b5. Bishop b3 is a move also that he could have played, and bishop b7 from black actually equalises. If knight to f3, just queen h5, we get this variation, maybe knight c3 attacking the pawn, but b4, knight d5, and if black now just swaps off, plays knight c6, and after d4, g5, this is actually an unbalanced position but chances for both sides, so it's very even. But Short just took the pawn off and accepted the gambit. Kasparov here played knight to f6 attacking the pawn, and knight to f3 from Short attacking the queen. Queen h6 to move away from the knight, and knight c3 to protect the pawn on e4. Now bishop b4 here is considered the best move by Stockfish, and after a move like e5, black can now take on c3. After b takes c3, black can actually play knight to e4 with a sneaky knight g3 check coming up, because he can't capture that due to the rook being, due to that h-pawn being pinned by the queen. If rook g1, black can castle. After queen e1 d5, black's actually equalised here, so he could be in for a very nice game, and Kasparov could have proved that he's a superior player after playing this garbage opening. Here though, Kasparov played g5, so defending the f4 pawn, preparing g4. Short played d4, the logical move, gaining space in the centre, preparing to push these 2 pawns. I think Kasparov should have played maybe c6 here, attacking the bishop. After bishop a4, maybe just go for rook g8 and go for this g4 idea. And amazingly, the computer actually gives this as even as well. I think in actual play though, it's very difficult for black to win these type of positions. Kasparov played bishop to b7. So bishop b7 sort of attacks this e4 pawn, but after a move like queen e1, if both pieces take it, black might be struggling to defend. But Short now just plays h4, so it's attacking the g5 pawn. Again, sort of, because that h rook is pinned. So what happens if black plays g4 here? Well, this doesn't actually work out too well for black. After knight to e5, attacking the pawn, rook g8 to defend. g3 can be played, attacking the f4 pawn, and the f pawn's pinned. So knight h5 defends, and just rook g1 to defend the g3 pawn, and the f pawn is still pinned. If knight c6 to develop, knight takes g4 can be played by White. After queen to d6, just play d5, and maybe knight takes g3, rook takes g3, f takes g3, and we get into this complicated line that the computer suggested. After d takes c6, queen takes d1, knight takes d1, rook takes g4, c takes b7, g2 check, king g1, rook b a8 and just bishop a6 to protect the pawn, and white's in a vastly superior position here. That g2 pawn's going to be hoovered up very quickly, so black could easily just resign. After h4, Kasparov played rook g8, and white plays king to g1 to protect the h1 rook from this queen. So now white can capture on g5 if he wishes. Again, if g4 here, white can play knight to g5 attacking the f4 pawn, and if black defends, just queen takes g4 is winning for white. So g takes h4 is pretty much forced for Kasparov, so that's what he did, and just rook takes h4 attacking the queen, and the queen moves to g6 threatening mate on g2. But already this is actually winning for white, and I think this is the reason Kasparov stormed off the stage, because it's just too easy for white now. Queen e2 to protect the pawn, Kasparov takes on e4, and let's say if short took on e4, this is still winning for white. After queen takes, bishop takes, rook takes, white's in a better position. There's a lot of natural moves like knight to e5 coming up, so even terrible moves in this position aren't actually all that costly for white. But short found the winning move actually. He played rook takes f4 and just eyeing up this e4 knight. Kasparov defends it nobly, but now just knight to h4, and the g2 pawn's protected, and the f5 pawn is attacked multiple times. Kasparov plays queen to g3, and short plays knight takes e4, and here Kasparov just resigned and, as you heard, stormed off the stage. He wasn't too happy with the moves that were chosen. He could have taken it in his stride, but this game's gone down in history. And if you do the research behind the game, you would have thought that Kasparov just blundered straight into this, which is not the case. So I can see why he might be annoyed. So why did Kasparov resign? Well, after bishop takes e4, white could just play rook takes f5, and the game could continue queen takes h4, rook e5, bishop e7, and just rook takes e4, and that bishop on e7's attacked twice, and the queen's attacked. So after queen f6, a move like bishop f4 can be played, and now white's just preparing to play rook to e1. If knight c6 to develop, just rook e1, and black can just come through resign because bishop takes c6 is coming. That bishop's pinned and it's attacked 3 times. The c7 pawn's attacked and it's just game over. So yeah, in this position Kasparov just called it a day. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this game, and that's how Short sort of beats Kasparov in 15 moves. Thanks for watching, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I'll post more soon. See you later.